What's going on, guys? This is Kobe DW here, and today I'm going to be doing a video of me ranking my replicas and commemoratives from the worst design to best design. And I hope y'all had a Merry Christmas, and let's just fucking end this year with like a bang, like literally just get out of here. And of course, yes, I have a few new belts I got for Christmas, but I'm going to be doing a ranking video. I think this is the first, I've done like a WrestleMania main event ranking, but this is the first time I'm making a video of ranking championships. But this is my collection, and I hope to get more in the future, sometime in 2021. So I'm going to try and make this video like not too long but not too short, because I got better things to do right now, but I'm just bored and I just want to make this video just for the sake of it. So yeah, let me get my championships ready and be with you in a second. Okay, so I have a total of 18 championships. 12 of them are replicas, 6 of them are commemoratives. So at number 18, at the bottom of the list, in terms of design, probably the worst looking, and it is a women's championship. Well, technically not women's. And of course, there's an ad. Hang on. Okay, sorry about that. There was an ad on the TV that obviously I didn't want to watch. But anyway, so at number 18, in my opinion, the worst in terms of design championship in my collection is the Divas Championship. I got this last year. I made a unboxing video of this. So yeah, I made an unboxing video of this championship last August. Yeah, it's probably in the top 5 worst championship designs in WWE. I can understand if you want to put pink on there to represent the women's division, but a lot of people just don't like pink on a championship. Pink really doesn't suit me unless it's like Cancer Awareness Month or something like that. But the history of this championship was absolutely terrible. Design, matches, even though there were a couple of good matches involved in this championship. Of course, every championship has to have a good match, but most of the matches were just extremely like a waste of time for this. I don't know. Like the only 2 good Divas champions, in my opinion, were like AJ. Well, actually, there's probably like 2 or 3, but AJ Lee, Paige, and Charlotte Flair. Nikki Bella was the absolute worst one. Not only because there was a lot of bad Divas championships, but Nikki Bella to me was the worst one, because she may be the longest reigning Divas champion at 301 days, but she barely defended it, barely acknowledged it, and just completely made it more of a shit tier post than anything else. When Charlotte won this title, she somewhat made it relevant, but then finally at WrestleMania 32 in 2016, the championship was finally retired and never returned again. But I think the reason why I bought this championship was because I want to watch matches with this, because every time I watch a championship match with that same title, I just grab my replica or commemorative and, just to fit it in. But another reason was just for a collection, just because I was bored and I wanted to get a championship. So yeah, I don't know the exact reason why I got this, but it was just for a collection probably. So on a scale of 1 to 10, this Divas Championship is definitely a 2. But, the worst, like the only title I think was worse. What the fuck? Oh, never mind. The only title I think was, in terms of design, worse than the Divas title was the 24/7 title. Maybe in terms of the designs of that title, that's a straight up 1. In terms of comedy, it's definitely a 10. This was not a comedy nor a legit wrestling championship. It was a piece of shit that did not even want to exist in the first place. So it's a 2 out of 10. I'm so sorry for you guys that actually liked it, but to me it was a piece of shit, and I just wish it never existed in the first place. Despite me saying I thought it was okay when I unboxed it, and it kind of made me a bit of a hypocrite. But this championship had much more potential of having a better design and having a lot more great matches. That's all I'm going to put this out there. You know, it's great to have like maybe a commemorative and replica. As a commemorative or replica, it may be a good design, but when you see it on TV, it's not really good. So this is, my opinion, the worst like championship in terms of design in my collection right now. So let's move on to number 17 before I go absolutely haywire on this championship. Next. Okay, at number 17, in terms of design in my collection, is the original, oh my god, this fucking thing is heavy, is the original WWE Tag Team Championship, and also the former design Raw Tag Team Championship. This design used to be also called the Unified Tag Team Championship when it was unified with the World Tag Team Championship and was retired. So in 2010, this design was brought up. It's not the worst, but it is definitely not the best. There were some good matches involving this championship. The New Day being obviously the longest reigning tag champs at 483 days. I think despite the really poor design, I think they made it completely relevant. Maybe in terms of like, you know, like their character was great, and they made the tag championship somewhat relevant. But in terms of design, it's not the best. So I think the New Day, even though they might have like cheated sometimes just to keep the titles, but they still, to me, are one of the best tag team champions of all time in WWE. And they've been around for like 6 years, but with Big E out of the group, it feels weird, but I'm starting to get used to it. So, yeah, the old tag team championship design, not the best, but not the worst. Some good matches, but the history wasn't the best either. So on a scale of 1 to 10, I'd probably give this maybe a 4. Like the armor helmet, I like, but it's just nothing really special. It just feels like a big freaking penny. That's all there is to it. Good, no doubt, some good matches that involve like the New Day or Usos, or maybe even Cody and Goldust back in 2013, even the Shield, no doubt. But I wish it had a much better design. And speaking of tag titles, we're moving on to number 16. But yeah, this is a 4 out of 10 in terms of design, in my opinion. So next. Okay, number 16 in my collection is, it's the Raw Tag Team Championship, but just a different design. The other tag team was a replica. This is a commemorative. This was my first commemorative I got in my collection. Despite some of the good matches like the Hardy Boys, the Bar, the Shield, holding this title, again, the design is not the best. It's the exact same. The only difference is the red strap and the silver plates. The SmackDown tag titles are the exact same, except the strap is blue, but this one's red. So there's nothing really much to say about it compared to the other tag title I got. But they really desperately, they need to change both the Raw and SmackDown tag titles. Like, the women's tag titles and the NXT tag titles are great, but they desperately need a redesign. Even though the Hardy Boys inspired me to get this because of their return at WrestleMania 33 a few years ago, it just needs a redesign. So, like the other design, this gets a 4 out of 10. Not the best, but definitely not. Well, I probably should have said the other way around. Not the worst, but definitely not the best looking design title. Again, redesign it like right now. Next. Okay, and number 15 in my collection is the former Universal title design, the Raw version, the red. So, there's a little bit more I want to talk about this compared to the other 3 titles. When I first saw this design, I was extremely disappointed because it had a lot of potential to have probably one of the best designs, but we got reduced to this. Pretty much the WWE Championship, except being with red colors, the black line, and the words Universal Champion, as you can see. Then after a while, I got used to it, and I decided to get a commemorative. And yeah, this is a commemorative, by the way. So yeah. But thanks to Goldberg and Brock Lesnar, they completely ruined this championship. Kevin Owens was literally the only great Universal Champion to like the hold the red design up until Roman Reigns. When I mean, there's so much to talk about. I'm just stuttering. I'm so sorry. The current Universal title is basically the exact same design, except the strap is blue and the line is red. It's kind of an upgrade compared to the red one, but it's still not the best design. I will say though, the relevance of the current designed Universal Championship itself, because of Roman Reigns, he made it relevant. Again, the design's not the best, but in terms of relevance, like, it's at its best right now because of Roman Reigns capturing his second Universal title from Payback. His matches with Jey Uso, Kevin Owens, and even Braun Strowman, he made it. And even with Drew McIntyre, even though that wasn't a championship match, but still, Roman Reigns today made the championship more relevant than Kevin did back in 2016 when he held this design. Still, I really wish they could have had a much better design. We got used to it even over the years, but it's still not the best design. Out of 10, I'd give this maybe a 5. Disappointing, but not the best. Now, the blue one, while it is better, not the best, I'd probably give that one a 6, but this one is a 5 to me. Not the best, but definitely not the worst. So moving on. Okay, number 14 on the list is the SmackDown Women's Championship. I also made an unboxing video on this past year in May. While it is a lot better than most looking women's championships, it's still kind of corporately decorated, but I do like I like the white strap and the blue in the background. I think sometimes blue just fits better than red in some championships because maybe I don't know what's so special about it. But there has been some good champions like Becky Lynch and even Bayley, and now Sasha Banks. I think Sasha Banks is doing a good job as SmackDown Women's Champion because she's finally retaining a championship a lot compared to her 5 Raw Women's titles, which is not as good as this one. So, first, be right back. Okay, sorry about that. I had to let my dog out. Okay, so anyway, there have been some great champions like Becky Lynch and Bayley, Sasha Banks, and whatnot. It may be corporately decorated, but I still think it's a lot better than most women's championships. I think Becky Lynch's second reign as SmackDown Women's Champion had been the best one so far. Heel Becky Lynch is a lot better than face one. So, yeah, on a scale of 1 to 10, I'd probably give this maybe a 7, because of the blue. But yeah. So, next. Okay, number 13 on my list is the United States Championship from 2003 to 2020. Okay, so I like this design, but they desperately needed a redesign. And that until July of this year, they redesigned this, which I have a replica, but that is going to be pretty high on the list, so we'll get to that later. Very rich history. Like I said, this championship itself has been around since the mid-70s, but this design has been around since 2003 and was retired earlier this year in July. Who do I think was the best U.S. champion that had to deal with this title? I'd probably have to say John Cena. Like, his U.S. Open Challenge in 2015 actually was pretty good because we thought it was like, yeah, it's going to be boring. But no, it actually was pretty good because he gave multiple opportunities to a lot of superstars. And, like, the only person to beat him in a U.S. Open Challenge was Alberto Del Rio. But the person to beat him first was Seth Rollins back at SummerSlam in 2015 when he also defended his WWE Championship to win this title as well, which was a pretty feel-good moment for a lot of people. And, yeah, there's a piece of glitter on here. Actually, no, it's not glitter. Never mind. But the design itself, good, but I think it was way overdue for a redesign. They kept this one for way too long. So yeah, 17 years they kept this design, from 2003 to 2020. But yeah, I like the American flag design on the front plate and the Statue of Liberty side plates, but I think, you know, it wasn't really a lot. And there's no gold tip on the replica. And by the way, this was my very first replica I've ever got. So yeah. And the plates are a little bit too thin. You don't really see a lot of... And for a replica, this is not even really heavy. It feels like a commemorative, but it really isn't. It's a replica. So on a scale of 1 to 10, I'd give this probably a 7. But I wish they could have had a redesign sooner. Some liked it. Some people wanted to keep this design. Some wanted it a redesign so badly. So for those of you that wished had a redesign, you got your luck. So next. Okay. On number 12 on my list is the WWE/NXT Cruiserweight Championship. Jesus Christ, this is heavy. From 2016 up until this year in 2020. Look at the curve on this. This is, of course, a replica, and I'm glad I got this. I got this as a Christmas present last year. This is it's a good title, but I think the current one's a lot better, which I'll get to later on. So, yeah, okay. So, I was so happy when they brought back the Cruiserweight Championship back in September of 2016 in a finals match. I almost dropped the title from, literally dropped the title, between TJ Perkins and Grand Metalik. I think the 3 greatest wrestlers to hold, not of all time, but I think the 3 greatest champions in the Cruiserweight division was Neville, Cedric Alexander, and Buddy Murphy. I think they made this championship a lot more relevant than Enzo Amore or Brian Kendrick ever did, and even Rich Swann. Well, actually, Rich Swann was an okay champion, but you know, this thing is fucking heavy. It's a small title, but it's very freaking heavy. But yeah, this is the version 2 Cruiserweight Championship, because the version 1, the line was purple on the front plate, and on the side plates the lines were gray. Now it's orange because it was 205 Live. It's purple and orange. Some people didn't like it. I thought it was okay, but you know, sometimes orange just doesn't suit, and orange and purple don't really mix together. But on a scale of 1 to 10, this is a solid 7. So let's move on to the next one. Okay, number 11 on the list. This is the first of 4 championships I'm showing that I got for Christmas this year. The WWE Women's Tag Team Championship. For years, fans have been telling Vince McMahon and the whole WWE, bring back the Women's Tag Team Championship. And in 2019, last year, or nearly 2 years ago, whatever you want to say, they did bring back the championship. I really wish they would have had much more tag teams and had a better history and poor lineage, but the design itself is actually pretty cool. It is needless to say, it is better looking than the Raw and SmackDown Tag Team Championships, to be honest. But yeah, I really do like the design, the white and the silver and gold mixed together. Absolutely amazing. You know, for a small championship, this is pretty freaking heavy, actually. But yeah, the design itself, amazing. Well, not really amazing, but still good. I just wish they had a better lineage. And now with Charlotte Flair and Asuka being women's tag team champions is pretty cool. On a scale of 1 to 10, this is a solid 7. Moving on. And number 10, this one is a commemorative, but it didn't come from the WWE shop. This was actually a Target, Target branded championship. It is the WWE Championship itself with the network logo from August of 2014 to the present day. It's not the best design for the WWE title itself, but it is good looking, even though corporately decorated. I still think it does have a very rich history and the most prestigious championship in all of sports entertainment and of wrestling in general. So this design was brought up first in the night after SummerSlam in 2014 when Brock Lesnar held this championship after beating John Cena the previous night. I think the current champion Drew McIntyre is doing a damn good job at putting on a pretty worthy title reign, because his first title reign lasted for about 200 days, one of the best world title reigns of the last 5 years, and he recently reclaimed it from Randy Orton last month to face Roman Reigns in a champion versus champion match at Survivor Series, and he just recently defended it in a TLC match from AJ Styles and The Miz just a week ago. I think Drew McIntyre is a very awesome world champion, very strategic, smart, and a lot better than most world champions nowadays. And I think Drew McIntyre himself is making this championship more relevant than it was before, between like Brock Lesnar and Kofi Kingston, with all due respect. But Drew McIntyre is doing an excellent job as WWE Champion, and he might win the title more, well, maybe not more times, but maybe for like a third or fourth time one day. Right now, he's on his second reign as WWE Champion. He's doing a great job, and the design itself, amazing. Of course, this was all the other titles you saw, like the SmackDown Women's title and the Red Universal title. Same design, but I think this one, out of the best corporately decorated, this one's the best one. This is a solid 7 out of 10. I don't know if they are going to redesign it. Maybe one day they will, but we'll see. Next, at number 9, for best design replica / commemorative in my collection, is the current designed NXT Women's Championship. This is a replica. This was my first NXT replica I got this in Christmas in 2017. I do have a video, but it was back in the day. So anyway, it was an upgrade compared to the original NXT Women's title, which had pink. Although better, the older design of this, better than the Divas title, but I still think this one was way better. And probably the best women's championship design right now in WWE. So, the silver and gold, like, they go together sometimes, and I like the gold tip as always. Asuka made this championship famous, as well as like Shayna Baszler and Rhea Ripley, and the current champion Io Shirai, who is doing a damn good job and probably the best NXT Women's Champion we have had in a while. She's doing an excellent job as NXT Women's Champion. The question is, we don't know when she's going to lose the title. Maybe to Mercedes Martinez, but I am not sure. We are not sure when she's going to drop the title, but she's doing a damn good job. And hang on a second. Sorry about that. I had to talk to someone on the phone. Anyway, the design itself, very similar to the NXT Men's title, which is, you can barely see it, but small, but it does have a pretty rich history, despite it not being around for as long as like the world titles and whatnot. But I do, again, always a bright future for NXT titles. Io Shirai doing a damn good job for making this relevant. On a scale of 1 to 10, this is an 8. So, best women's title right now in WWE, maybe with the exception of the UK women's title, which I'm surely I'll get a replica of that sometime in 2021. Let's move on to the next one for number 8. Number 8 for best design title in my collection. This is another one I got for Christmas this year. The current designed NXT Cruiserweight Championship. Very similar to the other one I showed you, but this one is a lot better. I'm telling you, the strap is a darker purple, and it has NXT logos on the side plates and the front plate. It's absolutely amazing. So yeah, when I first saw this, I was kind of confused on why, but since it's called NXT Cruiserweight, that makes a lot more sense. But this is definitely a lot better compared to the other one, because the other one was more like a brightish purple with the WWE logo with the orange lining. It's not red, it's orange. And then when this was created, it was obviously a lot better. And of course, as always, the curve is amazing, even though this really doesn't fit me because, yes, obviously I need to lose some weight. But I do like it. And Santos Escobar, who's the interim champion, Jordan Devlin, who's the real champion, obviously they need to have a face-off to see who is the true undisputed Cruiserweight champion. if, of course, that ever happens sometime in 2021, which I most likely is going to guarantee. But this is although it's the same design and texture and shape, it's a different color with a different logo. It's definitely an upgrade to the other one. This is an 8 out of 10. Let's move on. Okay, at number 7 on my list is the NXT Tag Team Championship. This is another replica. So this was brought up at TakeOver Orlando. Well, not the title itself, but the design. The original design for this is kind of similar to the current design. Same shape, but it was like one title was black on the left and gold on the right, and gold on the left and black on the right. It would get really confusing on who would actually hold on to it. Now it's simple, and like the striped colors with the side plates and whatnot. And there's no gold tip on this, which is kind of a bummer. But it's still a cool looking design. Probably the best tag title design right now in WWE. Teams like the Undisputed Era and the Authors of Pain, DIY, the Revival, they give me so much memories of them holding on to the championships. And I think Lorcan and Birch are doing a good job on them trying to make a good tag team champion run. So yeah, so on a scale of 1 to 10 in terms of design, this is a 8. So let's move on to the next one. Okay, at number 6 in the collection, this one is a commemorative. It is the Intercontinental Championship from 2011 to 2019. Cody Rhodes brought back this championship while he was still Intercontinental Champion, despite the fact that this is basically the newer version of the Shawn Michaels title from 1995. The only difference is the network logo, but this is basically, you can also say it's also the 2011 2019 design. Fucking hell, there's an extra side plate there for some reason, and it's hard for me to hold up a championship. But so for years, people called this the most prestigious title in WWE because of its design and lineage. And while I agree that most prestige title obviously goes to the WWE Championship, superstars like The Miz and Dolph Ziggler made this championship relevant because of them bragging about how they're the greatest champion of all time, or talking about its lineage and talking about other champions. That's what made this so good. In 2019, that all kind of changed though. So, and when Shinsuke Nakamura won this title last year, we all thought he would have a pretty good run. Unfortunately, that wasn't really true. He barely defended the title, although the new design was pretty cool. Again, I have a replica of the new Intercontinental title design, but so Shinsuke kind of like superstars like, I don't know if I should put Seth Rollins on the list for upgrading or downgrading the title, but other superstars like Finn Balor, Bobby Lashley, and even Dean Ambrose in his third reign as Intercontinental Champion kind of downgraded the championship. Roman Reigns, I thought Roman was a pretty great Intercontinental Champion. His match with Samoa Joe at the beginning of 2018, nearly 3 years ago, was absolutely amazing. God damn it, I can't hold the title up, Jesus. Anyway, so on a scale of 1 to 10, this is to me a solid 8. It would have been a 9 if they had just a bit more design. But the blue globe in the middle, mixed with the gold, kind of fits. And I miss this design. I don't know if it's going to ever be brought back. It might, but you never know. Moving on to the top 5 best design belts in my collection so far. At number 5 for best design title in my collection, once I get this fucking snap off, there we go. It is the NXT Championship. At first, when I saw this, when I first saw this, I was more used to the old design Intercontinental Championship. And when I saw the new design, I was like, oh my god, I don't like it. But after a while, I got used to it, and it remains one of my favorite titles right now in WWE history. It kind of reminds me of the big gold belt for some reason, because possibly the gold. Again, very similar to the Women's Championship. and a lot bigger. But superstars like Adam Cole and Finn Balor, there's a goddamn ad on my TV. So, fuck you. Go away. Okay, anyway. Superstars like Adam Cole, who was the longest reigning NXT champion of all time, Finn Balor, and even like Andrade and Tommaso Ciampa, they made this one of the best titles right now in WWE. And of course, and the NXT Championship matches are some of the best we've seen in recent WWE history. Very rich history, although it's not defended on every title like the North American title right there. But this is a very great design. I'm getting used to this more than the old NXT title, because the old NXT title, like, it would just like have it would just look like a belt buckle, because it would have like the large NXT logo, and the strap was a lot thicker than this. And when you would snap it together, all you would see is the logo, nothing else. This is a lot better, and it's a lot better quality. The strap, you know, I mean, I've had this for 2 years now, but it's still in great condition. The strap still feels like leather. It still feels great, and I absolutely love this. This is a 9 out of 10. Let's move on to the next one. At number 4 in my collection, this is a heavy-ass belt. The 3rd out of 4 championships I got this Christmas. It is the 2019 Intercontinental Championship. This is an absolute beauty. It's very unique. It doesn't look like most championships we see today. It honestly feels very prestige. When Sami Zayn revealed this, and when I first saw it, I was like, yeah, it's alright, but I just don't think it's better than the old design. No, to me, the new Intercontinental title looks way better than the old design, with all due respect. Because there's more, you can see more gold now. It just looks more like an 80s title to me. And especially the gold tip. That is the most unique gold tip I have ever seen. And for there's a bit of a curve there. And the WWE logo kind of sticks out. If you can, you see the logo that sticks out. Like AJ Styles and Sami Zayn made this championship at a respectful level again. Braun Strowman did absolutely didn't do jack shit about this, because while I'm glad he got a chance to hold the Intercontinental title, it was random, and they just pulled the trigger way too early, because they wanted him to lose it at Elimination Chamber to Sami Zayn and defend the title in a handicap match, which is never a good thing for a singles title. A singles title is meant for either a one-on-one match or a triple threat match, but not a handicap match. Sorry, but that ain't worth it. But nonetheless, though, this design is very beautiful, and I like how they show the different continents on 2 different sides of the front plate. This is a 9 out of 10 easily. Let's move on to the next one. At number 3 is one of my biggest and heaviest, next to the one that I'm about to show in just a minute. Well, after this one. Ow, my chest. The WWE/NXT United Kingdom Championship. This one has the WWE logo that pops out like 3D. The current design is the exact same design, except the difference is the NXT side plates and the NXT logo. I like this one better because of the WWE logo that pops out, and for the fact that, you know, this championship is almost 4 years old, and only 3 superstars have had it. Tyler Bate, Pete Dunne, and Walter, who's the current champion. Pete Dunne still holds the record and had the longest title reign of the last 30 years, 685 days, while Walter, over 630 days, he's close to breaking that record. I think Walter might become the longest reigning UK champion of all time. The question is, we don't know who's going to beat Walter. Ilya Dragunov tried back in October, but still failed, even despite the 5-star classic. But this championship is freaking gorgeous. It is properly booked, and I love the dragon and the lion, and even the royal crown. That's what makes the UK championship so gorgeous. And the red in the middle with the WWE logo, I don't know why it feels right. And it kind of feels kind of similar to like the WWE Championship in terms of the shape. But the leather feels really smooth, and the gold tip is smooth. This is a beautiful freaking replica. This is a 9 out of 10. It would have been maybe a 10 if, you know, there were a few more designs on here, in my opinion. But that's just my opinion. So let's move on to the next one. This next one, another one I got for Christmas. My biggest and heaviest championship yet. The 2020 United States Championship design. This is the best title change, design change of this year. I mean, you could barely see the blue, but I like the eagle. Look how freaking thick these plates are. These are like 10 millimeters thick, I think. I am not sure. And the gold tip, again, gorgeous. The side plates, I'm glad that the U.S. Championship has side plates rather than that freaking stupid nameplate. I'm struggling to carry this thing. Holy shit. But yeah, this is a heavy-ass championship. I just still can't believe the thickness of the plates. And the eagle, oh my god, I love the eagle. First brought in July of this year with MVP. Bobby Lashley, who's the current U.S. champion, I don't know how many times he's defended this championship, but I gotta say, WWE did a great job at redesigning this championship. It desperately needed a redesign, and they finally did it, and there is a freaking big curve on this championship. Oh my, I don't even know if this is going to fit me. This is my biggest and heaviest championship yet, and I'm glad I got this for Christmas. If I didn't, I'd be kind of pissed. But, you know, it is what it is, but I got lucky because I'm grateful for being a wrestling fan. This is like a 9.5 out of 10. It would have been a 10 if you could see more of the black in the front, of the championship. But no, this is a near perfect belt. I love this so much. And let's get into my favorite championship right now in the collection. And of course, my number one favorite championship in the collection so far is... my number one favorite championship in the collection so far is the NXT North American Championship. This is probably I don't know. I just don't know what to say about this. This is a freaking beauty. It's not too much. It's simple. It's not too flashy. It's not too bland. It's just right. And if you want to know what the color, this is like a maroon, reddish, maybe quarter van color. I don't know. This championship is just freaking amazing. And I'm so glad I got this for a birthday present last year in August. But this championship, a lot of people didn't like the thick strap because of the, maybe because that was the reason why that people said it was not as good as it was. But compare the big strap on the North American title to the original NXT title. Like I said, on the original NXT Championship with the one that looks like a belt buckle, when you snap it, all you see is just the logo, nothing else. Whenever you snap this together, you can still see the side plates and the main plate and the color itself, which is why I love the big strap on this championship. Oh my god, it's just so gorgeous. Again, it's simple and of course my favorite part of this, not only the color, but the continent of North America on the front plate. Simple, it's like an old school boxing and wrestling championship from like the 60s, 70s, or 80s. But this is what made this special. I think this has to be the most defended title right now in NXT, because your NXT Championship really isn't defended on every show. It's defended in like almost every pay-per-view. So is the women's title and the tag titles. But on every TV episode, not so much. This one is the exception, and that's why I love the North American Championship. Like Velveteen Dream, Keith Lee, Ricochet, and even, Adam Cole. And that ladder match, oh my god, I remember seeing that North American Championship ladder match from TakeOver New Orleans. That still remains my favorite North American Championship match of all time. Well, I think that's about it. I said this was going to be not too long, but not too short. We're nearly 40 minutes into this video. I don't know if I'm going to make another video throughout the last few days of 2020. This probably is the last video I'm making in the year of 2020. So, I hope y'all enjoyed this video. and of course the titles I've shown you. Hope you have a happy new year, and let's just end this year already, because we've already been through enough. I don't know. I just don't know how to describe it. 2020 has been a really shitty year for us, but we still had some good moments, you know. Just because 2020 was a bad year doesn't mean all of it was bad. We still had some good moments. I've had a great Christmas. I don't know about y'all, but I hope you had a Merry Christmas, and I hope you have a Happy New Year. See you guys, and I will see you in 2021. Peace out.